Good evening, parents. And I know I just did an update. I know that's probably what you're saying. You're like, oh my goodness, I got another one. But I wanted to touch base with you on just a few things as, of course, this coming up this week is our last week for the second 6 weeks. And I just wanted to share a few things with you. Of course, what I'm hearing this week is that it's finally going to start feeling like fall. So this would be a good time, parents, as you're breaking out the coats and the jackets for your child. Do us a favor, do your child a favor, do yourself a favor. Make sure to put your child's name inside that jacket or that coat. We tend to lose a number of jackets each and every year, and this way it can help us get them back to the rightful owners if your child would happen to lose them. So, if you're as you're planning to make sure your child stays warm, make sure that put their name inside their jacket. Second thing, parents, I wanted to remind you that again, all of our students in the district, all of our students at Alton are able to receive a free breakfast and a free lunch thanks to our wonderful child nutrition department. Now, parents, just to let you know one thing though. If your child is going to get a snack that we usually sell at lunchtime, you will still need to put money on your child's account for that. If you don't want your child to receive a snack, that's okay. Every child, again, like I said, will receive a free breakfast and a free lunch this entire school year. And again, much appreciation to our child nutrition department. Now, don't forget, parents, that we're going to kick off next week is our Red Ribbon Week. Each day we'll have a special dress up day, and we're going to end now a little bit different than what the schedule is here, and I'll put the schedule in the newsletter below. But instead of wearing Cub green on Friday, and just a reminder that Friday is an early dismissal at noon, but on Friday we're going to allow the students to dress up in their costumes that they would wear on Saturday for Halloween. Now, there are a couple of exceptions, though, for the costumes. Number one, let me make sure that you're aware of. Parents, if your child does not wish to dress up, they do not have to. We're not requiring them to do so. We also would ask that, of course, parents, that you do not allow your child to wear a really scary mask or the blood and gore or bring up the weapons that are usually some costumes might have. Keep those at home. We like our little kids to have some fun at this time. Now, of course, also in the past, we've had a parade and we brought in treats. But unfortunately, we're going to hold off on those this year. But I can promise you, parents, we're going to do our very best to take some pictures and share them out with you so you can see all the fun that we're having up here at school. The big thing that I wanted to touch base with you, parents, with this update is, as I said before, this week is good. This coming week is going to be the last week of the second 6 weeks. And before we enter to the new third 6 weeks, which will start on Monday, November 2nd, this is an opportunity that parents will be able to change the educational setting for their child. So, in other words, if your child is currently remote, this will be a time if you want to bring them back to face that you can. Or if they're currently face to face and you want them to go remote, they currently can. Now, Dr. Chaplin, our superintendent, will be sending out a message this evening or this weekend. In that message, he will be asking you to fill out a form. I would ask if you plan on making any changes, go ahead, click on the link, and fill out the form. If you are not making any changes, you do not need to fill out any form at all. So there is one thing, though, I want to make sure I touch upon about the changes, especially if you are choosing to have your child remain in a remote class or thinking about putting your child into the remote class. It looks a lot different than what we did at the beginning of the school year. Elementary students will now be in a class with either one teacher or two teachers. Remote students will work with their teacher for a certain amount of time each day. This time is going to be much longer than it was, as I said, at the beginning of the year. It's not going to be the simple check-in. It is actually going to be like a classroom, except, of course, everyone, including the teacher, will be remote. This example of this video here that I took is actually Ms. Sloatman, who is teaching second grade elementary students in the district that have all, of course, have chosen remote at this time. Again, this is going to be a time where Miss Sloatman is able to teach a lesson. She's going to be able to collaborate with the students in her class, and those students will be able to collaborate with each other. And Miss Sloatman might be able to work with an individual or even with a small group of students. The main thing I want parents to be aware of with the new remote classes that we have designed is the amount of time will be much greater than it was with the check-ins when we began the school year. Another example that I have here, this is Miss Dosloff. Well, Miss Dosloff teaches the elementary remote students in reading. And then Miss Abel teaches the remote third grade students in math. So again, just letting everyone be aware, I think for most of you are, but just to reiterate that remote classes will look a lot different. Students will be required to log in and take part for a much longer time than they did like at the beginning of the school year. So if again, let you also know, if you do decide to have your child go remote, they will have a new teacher that they will be working with. It's no longer their current teacher in their classroom. And they may not be taking part in our morning huddle. Depending on where the teacher is assigned, take for instance, fourth grade, if your child is going to go remote and they're in the fourth grade, they'll take part in Krause Elementary's morning huddle because that is where the teachers are housed at this time. Again, this is just some information I want to share with you about the changes. Look for Dr. Chaplin's message this evening or this weekend. And please make sure to, if you do plan to make changes, to fill out the form. If you do not, you do not need to worry about it. Again, just remember, if you do change or are going to go remote, there are some major differences than what we had at the beginning of the school year. Again, another reminder, I keep saying again, but just let you know, we made these changes in order to help our kids. And with these changes, they have been helping our students, not only our remote students, but definitely our face-to-face students. But if you have any questions about that, please do not hesitate to give me a call, and I'll do my best to answer those questions. As always, I thank you for your time and your support. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you soon.